What's up, people? In this video, we're going to answer the question, are your beliefs about fitness holding you back from actually getting in shape? So this is a little bit of a strange topic and not one that I see addressed too often in the fitness world, because it comes from really kind of like more esoteric, like self-development stuff. I first heard it when I think I was watching videos about making money online or making money or NLP or something like that. But basically, the concept is like this, right? We do certain things or don't do certain things. Our behavior is dictated by our beliefs, right? And if we have certain beliefs that we might not even be aware of, that's the key here. We're still going to act according to those beliefs, even if we've never actually consciously acknowledged them. Because just because we've never consciously acknowledged them does not mean that we don't actually have them and are not acting in accordance with them. Okay, so a little confusing, but I'll explain it right now. So let's say, for example, I'll give you an example of one of my friends, right? I have a friend who believes I was always trying to get this guy to work out with me, to like get in shape and work out because he's very overweight. Always talks about how fat he is and how he wants to work out and blah blah blah. I would always invite him, and he's kind of got this like what's it called, schizophrenic, like he does but he doesn't kind of thing, or bipolar, or whatever it is. Anyway, he told me once, and I'll never forget this, but he said that I think this was after a workout, and I made some comment about like how exhausted I was from the workout, and he's like, "See, that's why I don't work out, because there's no really successful people who actually exercise, because it takes too much of a toll on your body. You're too tired afterwards, and you're not able to work on whatever it is that they worked on to make them successful." So that's a belief that he has, right? He actually believes that if he exercises, it'll take energy away from some sort of pursuit that will help him generate money, right? Now, regardless of whether or not that's true is besides the point, right? The point is that he believes that, and his behavior is going to be a certain way or not based on that belief. Okay, now here is the exercise, right? Because there's an exercise involved with this, right? It's in NLP, I think it's called elicitation of beliefs. So basically what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to get out a piece of paper and just write down everything, all of your beliefs about getting in shape, right? All of your beliefs about being fit, all of your beliefs about eating healthy food, right? And this will give you a very clear idea of what you actually believe. And the idea here is that you'll kind of get like a light bulb moment, right? Because you'll see, oh wow, likely if you're not in shape, right? Or even if you are in shape, maybe your reasons for being in shape are not the best reasons, um, you know. But anyway, let's say you're not in shape, right? One of your beliefs might be that getting in shape is impossible to maintain and it's not worth the effort, right? And that's why you haven't started yet. Or one of your beliefs is you don't know enough now and you want to wait until you buy some course, because then you'll know enough and it'll be worth starting, and that's why you haven't started yet, right? Or maybe your belief is that it's impossible for you. You've tried a million things and you just can't do it anymore. I don't really know, to be honest with you, because I don't have any of those real like negative beliefs that are preventing me from actually working out and getting in shape. I definitely have beliefs in other areas of my life that I know are holding me back. But anyway, let's talk about fitness. So I'll just give you an example from my own one of my beliefs that I have about being fit, right? I've mentioned this before, absolutely no shame in admitting it, but I'm like, the reason I started getting into fitness and started like getting fit and like wanted to change my body was because this girl that I liked said I was fat when I was in high school, I think. So ever since then, I've kind of like linked up in my mind that if I exercise regularly and if I'm fit and in shape, people will like me more, right? And it's kind of on a linear scale, right? The more in shape I am, the more people will like me without me really having to do anything. Is that true? I'm not really sure. I think it is. I think it is, right? Is that the only reason people will like me or like anybody? No, it's not, of course not. But all other things being equal, if you have two identical people, again, this I guess is another belief that I have. If you have two identical people and one of them is in amazing shape and the other one is, whatever, fat or a slob or something like that, I would assume that people will naturally gravitate to the one who is in better shape, for whatever reason, biological, society, biases, whatever. It doesn't even really matter. What's another belief that I have? Oh, let's talk about food. Okay, one belief that I have regarding food is that if I eat unhealthy food, I will feel bad physically. Like I will physically get ill, right? Which causes me to avoid unhealthy food. Okay, so it's almost like most people, I think, I'm not really sure honestly at this point anymore, but I think that most people when they look at unhealthy food, stuff like guilty pleasures, let's say, like, I don't know, donuts, whatever, like, whatever on people who eat unhealthy food eat. I don't even really know at this point. Soda, cake, whatever. They look at that and they see that as like a temptation, like they want to eat it because they think it'll make them feel good. Um, in my experience, I've linked that eating that type of food up with pain, right? If I eat too much of it, a little bit is fine here and there, right? But I know that if I eat too much of it, I'm going to feel terrible, and it's almost like you couldn't pay me to, well, you could pay me to eat it because whatever. But I wouldn't want to eat it. I don't like look for it. I don't like seek it out, unless like I've already eaten all my healthy food for the day, whatever. That's another story. Another thing, I guess, another belief that I have that I think is positive. I'm talking about myself too much. But anyway, another belief that I have is that eating lots of meat is good for you. Right now, again, regardless of whether or not that's true, that's going to cause me to eat more meat, which will give me a certain result in terms of my energy level, my body composition, my mental state, whatever. Okay, so once you write down the beliefs that you have, you kind of want to go through them and you want to see which ones, the term is like which ones serve you, right? Like it's kind of like a very, I don't know, whatever, frou-frou kind of way of saying it. But you want to see like which ones are beneficial for you, right? Like which ones are not doing you any favors really, and which ones are. And the ones that are good, keep those obviously. The ones that are not doing you any favors, you should change those obviously. And the thing about belief, right? Like belief is another word for faith, right? Faith is really not based on proof at all, right? You could think of faith in God or faith in religion or faith that everything will be okay, right? You just believe. You're not really basing it on any sort of proof. You're kind of just making the choice to believe because you want to. So the good thing is that you can choose to believe anything you want. You can just make the choice and say, I'm going to believe that, even though the evidence does not necessarily point in that direction. You can choose to believe whatever you want. So, for example, what are some good beliefs that I think you should have? If you were to ask me, or if I were to, let's say, instruct somebody who wanted to get fit and wanted to be in shape, what are some beliefs that I would recommend that you install in your computer brain or whatever? Number one, eating unhealthy food is going to make you feel very bad. Okay, it's going to affect your mental state, and it's going to, affect your mental state. Really is good. Also, obviously, your body. It's going to make you fat. Another belief that I would recommend that you start believing is that if you have a nice body, your life will be easier, right? Would you not want an easier life? Another one is that exercise is fun, right? Exercising is fun. Going to the gym is fun. I feel like somebody's coming up here. Anyway, what's another belief? Exercise is fun. Eating unhealthy food is bad. Eating healthy food is good. When you're hungry, your body is burning fat. Okay, it's another good belief to have. Is it true? Do I have like my science lab here and I'm like measuring my body fat percentage like every 5 minutes when I'm hungry? No, but I have that belief, and as long as that belief specifically is combined with several other beliefs that are also contributing to a healthy lifestyle and a nice body and like burning fat and building muscle and all that stuff, then it's good, right? If you're one of these like anorexic people who's like, I need to be hungry all the time, I have to do 6 hours of cardio a day, it's probably not good, right? People like that probably have, if they were to write down their beliefs, we would probably see that they believe things that are not serving them. Like, if I can't see my sternum, I'm not attractive, something like that. Another belief, having muscles is sexy. I think that's a good belief to have, right? There's a famous quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's got a couple of good quotes because he's kind of like one of the main pioneers of bodybuilding. What did he say? He's like, the more physically impressive you look, the more seriously people take you, right? And I remember reading that. I had one of his books in my house when I was young, and I think it's called The Modern Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. Anyway, I read that book, and it was full of really good quotes like that. Another one from Arnold Schwarzenegger is, something like having a nice body is like proof that you are hardworking and dedicated and you're willing to like work towards something that takes a lot of work and doesn't have an immediate payoff. So it says something about your character, right? Anyway, the point is that you want to kind of intentionally choose to believe certain things if you're not already coming from that, if you don't already have those habits in place, right? If you already have those habits, you're in shape, whatever, you might want to consider like increasing the quality of your beliefs, right? So for example, one of the beliefs that I have is very superficial, it's very narcissistic, and it comes from an insecure place, right? The first one that I mentioned, where I said that I like I feel like I need to be fit, otherwise nobody will like me. Really is kind of what it is. Like I kind of need that validation from other people to kind of like, I like seeing that like people like check me out on the street, you know what I mean? It's not good, it's not healthy. The result is good, right? It forces me to like eat healthy food and get in the gym. Fine, the result is good, but it's not coming from a good place, right? So if I were to mind your name. Oh, sorry, just had to leave, part of the fun of living on a rooftop with a bunch of people. Anyway, how would you upgrade those beliefs? Well, you would make them less about yourself and less self-serving and more about other people. For example, you would think to yourself, okay, why do I need to be fit? For my family, right? If I'm the healthiest version of myself, then I can be there more for my family or for my friends or whatever. Another one is if you want to work in fitness professionally, which this is a topic for another time, but that's kind of the ultimate aspiration of anybody who really wants to be good at something, is eventually, you start out, you want the validation, you want to be the man or the woman who's like really good at something, you want that like acknowledgement from other people, but that's temporary and that'll only feel good for a short amount of time. Whereas the good feelings that you'll get from actually helping other people and changing their lives, I know this sounds really strange for me to be saying this, but that's a much long-laster, fuller, more satisfying feeling. So anyway, those are my tips for you for your beliefs elicitation regarding fitness. You can do this with anything if you want, but this is kind of a fitness channel. So anyway, tell me, what are some of your beliefs about fitness, about being in shape? What do you think about my little exercise? Is it ridiculous? Is it a really good idea? Let me know, leave me a comment. Peace.